Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, had one big test to tell the American people whether she was a cheap political hack or she was actually going to do her job as the chief law enforcement officer in this world, in the United States, independently, without worrying about Donald Trump, to do the right thing, to look for crime wherever it may be and follow the facts wherever they may lead. And she's failed because we have a major scandal that the Trump administration wants to act like didn't happen, but really did happen, involving the highest levels of our national security, intelligence, and military apparatus, and the cabinet members to prove it, along with the vice president using an relatively insecure messaging app to talk about a bombing run and war plans against a terrorist organization before it happened, and it leaked. That in any other administration would not only would people be heads rolling and people resigning like Mike Waltz and Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard and the rest, but there'd be a special counsel appointed by the Department of Justice and an investigation. But Pam Bondi proved to be the hack we always knew she was at a press conference today in Virginia when she said, "I'm not opening an investigation," and then rolled out, wait for it, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and Hunter Biden to distract from this scandal that is making the Trump administration circle the drain of history. Do your job, Pam Bondi. Pam, lock her up, Bondi. I'm Michael Popok. You're in Legal AF. Let's get to it. Press conference, presser today. She wanted to talk about the capture of some narco terrorists. Okay, I'll give her that with a bunch of people. But of course, she had to take a question. So she took a question during the presser. How could she not have been prepared for the question that was going to be asked about Signalgate and about whether people were going to be investigated and potentially prosecuted for violations of criminal statutes like the Espionage Act? Donald Trump has an interesting history in relationship with the Espionage Act because he was charged with violating it in Mar-a-Lago. This is what happens when you elect a felon in chief, a convicted felon, to be your president, and he surrounds himself with his criminal defense and impeachment lawyers like Pam Bondi. So she, instead of responding saying, "Yes, I'm looking into it, I'm using measured tones, I'm going to get to the bottom of it," and Trump sort of supporting that, she said, this is something you would have thought. I'll take it from the press secretary. I'm not going to take it from Pam Bondi. Here's the clip.
The off-topic question. In terms of the Signals chat controversy that's going on, is DOJ involved at this point? If so, why? If not, why not?
Well, first, it was sensitive information, not classified, and inadvertently released. And what we should be talking about is it was a very successful mission. Our world is now safer because of that mission. We're not going to comment any further on that. If you want to talk about classified information, talk about what was at Hillary Clinton's home that she was trying to bleach bit, talk about the classified documents in Joe Biden's garage that Hunter Biden had access to. This was not classified information, and we are very pleased with the results of that operation and that the entire world is safer because of it. Thank you all very much.
Is he being returned to El Salvador?
Now, let me remind you who Pam Bondi is, in case you forgot. I know they made it, but she was the Attorney General for Florida under two different governors. Okay, great. She was also the impeachment lawyer for Donald Trump in the first impeachment. Did terribly. I won't even show you the clip. Trust me, she could barely put a sentence together. And if it didn't follow the additional page turn, she wouldn't have gotten the argument out. That's one. Secondly, she went out to the stage during the first convention for Donald Trump, first time around, and they were chanting, "Lock her up." Remember that? When they were going after Hillary Clinton because she had an email server in her basement in Chappaqua? Who cares? I mean, there was no proof that anything top secret classified got leaked out through her use of a personal email account that all the other secretaries of states and others had used as well. So she comes out, they lock her up. And rather than tamping it down or doing what John McCain did in a moment of courage during a debate when a woman said to John McCain about Barack Obama, he's a Muslim. He took the microphone famously and said, "No, ma'am. No, that's not true, ma'am. Sorry." And would not let that go on. She basks in the glow of the chanting. Here's a clip.
Stay with me.
So I get why she's a cheap political hack. I'll take it from the secretary, the press secretary. I'll take it from Caroline, world's youngest press secretary, Levette, when she gets up there. It was a successful operation. We should be focused on that and not on the national security breach that happened right behind the scenes. Ignore that. Ignore that. This is like the great and powerful Oz, right? You know, when you know all the smoke and the mirrors and the puffing and the big giant green head, ignore him. I am the great and powerful Oz. And there's this major scandal going on behind the scrim. So I'll take it from her. I'm not going to take it from the Attorney General of the United States. By Department of Justice manual, she should be opening up a special counsel. When she uses examples like, what about Joe Biden and his boxes in his garage? Okay. Special counsel was opened up by Merrick Garland. We all hated it on this side of the aisle. 300 pages of Robert Hur, a Republican former U.S. attorney, bleating on about Joe Biden. He's a nice old man with memory loss. We hated that, but it happened. Hunter Biden. Now she had to get Hunter Biden in there, so she couldn't mention the junk pics that they were using. Marjorie Taylor Greene was using, or the laptop. So she had to bring in, because he was prosecuted by an appointment of a special counsel by Merrick Garland. So Hunter Biden could have seen it. Could have seen the big maps in the boxes from 20 years ago. And then Hillary Clinton. Lock her up, Hillary Clinton. Kash Patel, who's the lapdog for Pam Bondi, who's the lapdog for Donald Trump. His response was, I don't know, I just got briefed on this recently. Really don't know much about it. But he knew a lot about Hillary Clinton and wanted her hanged from the highest tree, and felt it was a two-tier justice system because she wasn't prosecuted and jailed. Here's a clip from an interview he gave when he was just a slouchy polo shirt wearing podcast interviewee. Let's roll the clip.
I was like, we're back to the Clinton case, the Clinton server case, right? It's like when Comey created this new legal fiction. No reasonable prosecutor, first of all, it's not the FBI's job to ever make a prosecutorial decision, but no reasonable prosecutor would bring this case. I was in the National Security Division at the time. I was doing the discovery for Benghazi where we found her freaking email. And then they took that investigation away from us, and then it became the Clinton investigation, right?
So now they're singing a different tune, but all they're singing is the tune and the hymn of political hacks. Yeah? Every administration other than this one would open an investigation. Everyone, Republican or Democrat, proudly. We would have to do it. The press secretary for Biden or Obama or Clinton or Bush or Reagan, or whoever, keep going, would stand in front of a podium and say, we have no choice but for the American people to get to the bottom of this and deter people who are presumed innocent. We're going to follow the facts wherever they may lead, but we're going to do it without showing fear or favor. Period. Where is that speech? No, it's Pam Bondi, future Senator Pam Bondi, future governor of Florida, Pam Bondi, future, fill in the blank, Pam Bondi. Where are your brass ones? Missing, clipped, not existent. This is what we told everybody was going to happen when you confirm the most obscenely unqualified people to be in the top levels of our government. The most obscenely unqualified people, led by an obscenely unqualified, disqualified person in Donald Trump, who thought nothing other than bringing his personal criminal defense lawyers, the bottom of the barrel, frankly, to represent him and us in the Department of Justice and convert them from private lawyers into his lawyers in the White House and our lawyers. How do you think the conversion process is going? Not great, right? You think Pam Bondi works for you and me and to get to the bottom of crimes and justice? Or is she like Ice Barbie, Kristi Noem, wearing some tight-fitting, completely inappropriate shirt to walk around a bunch of men that haven't seen a woman in a long time in a El Salvador prison to act tough, right, with her hair extensions? Is that what our government has now become? We're just trotting out these people without any competence whatsoever. Say what you want about the Biden administration. Competent around national security items was one of their strong suits. I'll continue to follow it all right here on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button, come right back, wash, rinse, repeat, watch everything at the intersection of law and politics right here on Legal AF. Till my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.